Hello and welcome to the Discover Virginia Beach podcast. I'm your host, Joseph Trahan, your tour guide to the Virginia Beach area. If this is your first time listening, I am so glad you found this show. Each week, I publish a new interview with locals ranging from musicians, government officials, CEOs, artists, and much more. And my aim is simple. It's to help you discover, define, and then go out and do exactly what you're looking for during your next vacation, relocation, or outing to the Virginia Beach area. And if you're looking to join in on the conversation, take part in monthly giveaways, and get your hands on my custom event calendars, head on over to Facebook and send me a friend request. That's Joseph Trahan. And check out my Facebook group of nearly 50,000 fans of the Virginia Beach area. Don't worry about writing anything down. The links for each episode, along with the Facebook groups, will be in the description below and also in the show notes. All right, here's the show. Relations executive at Thompson Law Group, who has a rich background in real estate. Yes, my favorite subject to talk about on the show, and a strong commitment to community and personal growth. Born of Filipino descent and raised in Australia, but of course we were able to entice her to come hang out here in Virginia Beach with us, and of course, bring a unique perspective to today's conversation. So everything that we're going to talk about today is about life here in Virginia Beach. And I'm so excited to welcome Ace Marie. Ace, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, good morning, Jacob. Thank you so much for having me.
We are so excited to have you part of the conversation today. So Ace, I think my biggest question, just out of curiosity, is what was it like in Australia? What was life in Australia like? Can we start the conversation out there today?
Oh my goodness. It was a beautiful childhood. My birthdays were in the summer in December. Summers were spent outside of the beach all the time. I was darker than this, sunny days and all kinds of animals. You know, when you wake up, you hear beautiful birds chirping, and they're not just like the regular birds. You got kookaburras in the background, you got galahs, the animals there are quite interesting, and I'm a citizen, so I can go back anytime. And, it was very, very fun memories.
Wow. So exciting and so much fun to hear, especially the different animals that exist. I mean, I know that Australia kind of gets a bad rap because it has all the, the venomous snakes.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to talk about the birds. There's so many great birds,
There's
right?
so many beautiful birds. Beautiful birds. It's a beautiful country.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Ace, what exactly brought you to the Virginia Beach area and of course got you to stick around and build your life and your business here?
I know. Tell me about it. Well, my ex, military brought us here. My ex-husband was in the SEAL teams, and we moved from the West Coast. I stayed. Cost of living is great. Attainable growth. I really like the Southern hospitality feel. And there's a fairly large community, Filipino community. So I have been a big participant in that, and recently sworn into the Filipino Chamber of Commerce. So I have every intention and want to inspire and empower future generations to come.
Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate you bringing that up as well. And congratulations on that new opportunity to continue to, go after your mission of like really empowering local voices and giving everyone a platform to share, what unique aspects that they can bring to the community.
Very much. And to bridge that gap and, have my kids be surrounded by our culture. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of kids, so you have two little ones, and you guys live, work, and play here in the area. I'm curious, especially for our listeners, they're always looking for a good deal, a good restaurant, a good place to eat. Filipino or not, any good local restaurants you want to shout out, or favorite spots you like to go grab a bite to eat at?
I absolutely love Angie's Bakery. It's a Filipino bakery, and they make really good like morning breads. It's called the pandesal, and they have this like matcha coffee. It's very unique. And obviously my, Jollibee, which is a Filipino fast food restaurant, and another one called Phelan's. It's off of Lynn Haven. It's delicious. I suggest everybody try it.
Absolutely. And I know we have a mutual colleague over on the Instagram. So if you want to go check out, his name is Marvin. He actually, this is not sponsored by the way, but Marvin, if you ever want to do a video, let me know. It's Marvin G. He's a filmmaker with JPix, and he and his team have been covering some great Filipino spots as well. Not my forte for taste. I'm not brave enough. I'm a beans and rice kind of guy, you know, more southern southern, you know, some Mexican, some chips and salsa, but I appreciate the care and attentiveness that goes into, you know, crafting some very unique and authentic flavors from Angie's Bakery and beyond. So thank you for sharing that, Ace.
I'm gonna have you try it.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of trying new things, how about we kind of shift gears here and talk about your so fascinating your journey from like real estate, from starting off as an agent and then pivoting to real estate, like the law side and closings. And for those of you who have purchased a home, there's a lot that goes into the transaction process. I mean, you talk to so many people. Ace, could you walk us through like those major milestone checkpoints for you that really help define who you are as not only an entrepreneur, but also as an individual dedicated to getting things done and also taking care of your clients along the way?
Yeah, of course. So prior to this position, I was a real estate agent with Berkshire Hathaway in Annapolis, Maryland. The reason why I entered the real estate game was because, you know, my ex-husband had a few properties here in Virginia Beach. I enjoyed real estate very much. However, being a military wife at the time and moving around and having to start your business over and over was just wasn't my forte. Definitely the entrepreneurial spirit. However, I like to have my roots somewhere where I can grow my business. Along the way, I was better at networking. So I networked and gotten goods with a local builder in Maryland as their junior land acquisitionist. And I learned so much. I dove into land records, scouted property owners for that additional parcel to build on, and, you know, eventually would have sold new construction homes. That was short-lived. I had to relocate to Virginia Beach because military calls. And then I reached out actually to a real estate team wife, and she passed on Rocket Title. And that's where my real estate title journey began. I was still on the selling side, which is my forte. However, I love leadership when it comes to a team environment, and I like camaraderie, and I like to be able to lead, you know, be the example, essentially be, you know, the face and go out and sell the mission and the values and bring it back. So leadership was huge to me. I wanted to just be part of a good team, sell great service, do really good business, and therefore ending up where I am today with Thompson Law Group.
Yeah, what a wild journey. So first off, I didn't even know they sold land in Maryland. I thought it was just landlocked like New York City. I mean, you got those the 3-story townhomes next to each other, and then a bunch of concrete jungle out there. That's very, very fascinating. So there's actually land still in Maryland, or okay.
Well, yes, there's definitely lots of land when you go out into the Anne Arundel County, Eastern Shore. There's plenty. However, you know, it's old money, it's generational, so it's quite hard for them to, you know, just up and sell. It takes some time.
Sure. Yeah. Very interesting. And so whenever we look at the and I say Ace and I are on the real estate side of things, whenever we look at the transaction process, it can be a very daunting task for a consumer or just a general viewer. I mean, have you ever hung out with a friend who's buying a house and you just kind of pick up their secondhand stress? Ace, I'm
Totally.
sure you've been there. They're just talking about like, you know, the agent didn't do something right, or the inspector missed something and it's an escrow, but there's like a possibility of the deal falling through. And regardless of how far removed you are from the process, there's still this weight and this stress involved. In a lot of ways that can, you know, kind of negatively skew the view of purchasing real estate. Ace, would you mind highlighting what unique aspects you bring when it comes to the team side and also the conversation side when it comes to equipping buyers and sellers to help reduce some of that stress and to help really navigate the, in a lot of ways, the biggest purchase, some people make in their lifetime?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I completely agree. From the agent side, it's important to educate. It's important that, the agent is well equipped and knowledgeable in the market and to be able to go out there and formulate conversations to get them to the closing table, right? It's also essential that the agent develops strong relationships when it comes to purchasing or selling a home. So your relationships with your lender, your inspector, your closer, your such as a law firm, and then the integrity and the length of time. Because really, and often when I hear issues, and then we're here on closing day, then we wish for a smooth closing, but along the way, it's essential that you partner up with, say, a law firm, because you got experienced paralegals with over 35 years of experience, such as us, and closing attorneys at the table. So partnerships are really important, and making sure that you're able to connect, and that these partnerships are not just one-way streets. That everyone is, hey, what can we do for each other? Because we're all a team here, and that's what I want to cultivate and push out to others. Like, but we're all at the same table. We're all trying to get this done. Let's make it as smooth as possible with little hiccups along the way.
Yeah, yeah, I like that analogy of give and take, because in a lot of in our modern conventional, first world view, it's really transactional based. You put a coin in and you get, a Netflix subscription back, or you get a super simple consolidated service back that you take. I mean, there's books. I think of those little books in our neighborhood. They have the little, grab a book, but you also need to put a book back for the
Yes.
little kiddos.
Right.
Just that mentality of, treat others the way you want to be treated. When you take something, give something back as well. And Ace, you've done a phenomenal job, and that's how we got connected in the real estate space. And kudos to you, hats off to you for all of the great work you've done.
Thank you.
Very impressed by your resume, and I want to highlight this next part too, because there are probably listeners out there who have had, success or transitions that went really well, and then something unexpected happened. And for you, Ace, I know that your personal journey led you down a battle with cancer. Do you mind walking us through a little bit of that time frame during your transition from, doctor's visits, and also just trying to continue to maintain your career and also, take care of your health?
Yeah, of course. I was fairly loud with my cancer journey, as essentially how I am able to acquire businesses through social media. So through influencer marketing. At one point, I was, what do you want to talk about? And in this day and age where everyone is just fascinated about beauty and always the vanity online, one thing I wanted to humanize and humble, um, my followers, our followers, was, my journey of being a single mom and then getting breast cancer. So I was diagnosed back in November 2022 with stage 2 HER2 breast cancer, the second most aggressive cancers for women. Got it fairly young. It was a bit of a shock. At the same time, I was like, I don't have time for this. Like, I'm going to beat this. This is fine. This is just something I've got to deal with. And you keep pushing, and it's not going to kill me. I'm not going to let anybody take me, let alone this. And I think too, just because it was so stress induced, one thing I recommend is to always watch your stress levels, learn to make sure that there's some things that you can control and some things you cannot. but mostly when you're battling that fight of cancer, and essentially it's chemotherapy and radiation, you've got to have a very strong mentality and to push forward. Um, I have a very strong sense of, community. My family, my sisters were very helpful. My best friends, from San Diego, and they were just constantly there taking turns. In addition to, it's so important who you surround yourself with in employment. When you have a good team that backs you, that cares and genuinely loves for you, you're able to just, all right, let me, they've got me, let me just take this on, and then I can put my best foot forward. All around very good. I've been very blessed, in Virginia, to be able to work alongside really good, companies like Rocket and Thompson Law Group. Really good values, leadership, empowerment, and growth. So, I kicked cancer's butt, and I pushed, and I'm just waiting for my hair to grow back. I hope to have inspired a lot of other people out there that go through struggles, and such, like cancer. It's not an easy road, but you gain a new set of eyes, and you see the world differently. You have a whole different perspective, and you're just thankful for the little things.
Ace, thank you for being vulnerable with us today and sharing that. I'm curious if there's any specific examples that come to mind when you say you see the world differently. Because and what makes me think of that is when we were at our one closing, and we got there, and you were just like, "Hey, I need to take a 5 minutes." You're like, I just need to go lay down on the couch for 5 minutes to recharge physically, because you're there. I mean, that's how a lot of us are. We're gonna make it. We're gonna push through. But sometimes our bodies kind of hold us back because they need to catch up with the spirit and the mind as well. Can you take us back to a moment like that?
You're gonna have to help me with that. The memory side is sort of impacted. I came out, I had a whole double mastectomy and reconstructive, but I will say those harsh chemicals do cause some brain fog and memory issues. So it was a closing that we had?
Yeah, it was our closing most recently for
That's right, with Eddie. Yeah. No, I mean, it's just some days you really got to listen to your body. Just take the time. And what's wonderful is workspaces, if it's times if they're allowed, like what was great at the time, we had like a couch and you could just sit back and relax for a moment. So really listen to your body, your mind. You aren't able to fulfill your duties if you can't get the right amount of rest that you need. So recharge and reset.
Ace, thank you for sharing that. And as we transition here, I just want to preface Ace's journey, for those of you listening, has really yes, the company she works for are great, but they're great because she's been a part of them as well. And I know Ace won't openly say that because she's too humble, but that's why I have the microphone and I'm part of the podcast, because I'm going to say it for her. So Ace, you're killing it in real estate, despite this physical limitation, this cancer battle. You press on and you land, a very strategic role and a very impressive role with your new friends and colleagues over at Thompson Law Group as the client relations executive. And you also work for a ninja master. Did I read that correctly on the website?
Yes.
Tell us about the ninja master first.
So Brett Thompson is a black belt, a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt and real estate attorney. Been in business for over 15 years, has, provides an array of services here, from residential to commercial, the creation of business entities, and a whole litigation team. This team's great. He's very intentional with whom is chosen to be part of the team. His experience, so it's crazy. He puts on this agent safety course, and it's coming up to help any real estate individuals, like agents who are showing properties.
He does self-defense classes.
Yeah. He does.
That's how I met Brett. I mean, he's like flipping somebody over a table when I come in. I'm like, what is this? And he helps equip these people, these agents, men, women, young, old, to just be aware of like the potential dangers when you're in a property by yourself. It's crazy.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, there was an increase in, um, whether it be cyber or, when you're any physical interactions in real estate, there was an increase. So Brett is really one of a kind. He's truly the only attorney I know of that puts on these self-defense courses and is the real deal. As a black belt jiu-jitsu fighter and here as a real estate attorney to protect your biggest assets, he's all around protects you, you're from your clients to yourself. So what makes him really unique is that, and I love, his social media presence. He's very outside of the box and pushes the envelope a little bit with being out there. So it's very unique, and I'm so glad to be part of the team, to be able to do that and share his story and the company's values and what we provide to the community. In addition to, he does a lot of like teaching Tuesdays and teaches at TCCs, and we're very community based, and we look forward to pushing more out and being of value.
Ace, you stole all my questions I had. I love that, and that's why you guys are the first attorneys we've had on the podcast, especially too, just because of your skill set and your unique position and value as you head towards the community first, right? You're giving before you're asking. You're giving the books instead of taking the books, from earlier's analogy, and I love that. When you're driving to the ocean front, to the beach. For those of you listening who are a tourist and you're not ready to make a permanent vacation yet, if you're heading towards the beach, once you pass exit 1718 Rosemont on the left, you'll actually see from the highway a giant ninja chopping a brick. No, I'm just kidding.
It's a
the
beautiful
Thompson Law Group.
building. It says Thompson Law Group.
It's very professional, very sleek. I add a sense of cheese to this. There's no giant karate person, but there could be, right, Ace? Could there be one?
I do fantasize of a big ninja logo on top of that building someday.
Yeah.
So people remember him as the ninja, closing ninja. And essentially ninja, you can be a ninja at anything. You can execute and be good at anything, whether it be real estate or you're the handyman. A ninja, I think what he really means by ninja is that that's his expertise, and he does very well at it. And
an expert in a craft.
Well. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Perfect. Speaking of experts in crafts, if you need a test dummy, for the ninja to be hitting, you can definitely use my face for that. It's very ninja worthy in that regard.
Are you sure? You are an agent. You are the face of your company.
Exactly. I mean, that would be great, because it's like, you know what? I'll take one for the team. I'll take one for the team right here. Ace, I'm so curious, because every time I go to closings, it's really easy for me as the agent, because I've done my work. I'm kind of in the back seat, so to speak, when it comes to the general process. We're just crossing some T's and dotting some I's. What is it like for you, though, on closing days? What does an average day look like for you, Ace, when you're closing, when you're at the office and, just getting stuff done?
I mean, truly, as a client liaison, is to always remain, on the forefront and essentially be a messenger. I'm going out and trying to meet as many people, network with as many people regarding our services, and deliver it and, execute and do a really good job. We have a team of paralegals and post closers and attorneys so that can close a file and super convenient closings. So my role essentially is more a messenger. I go out and talk about the business, some of the, what we can provide in terms of closings, a convenience, a legal backed expertise, and make sure, they have the memorable experience from beginning to end. What I love about us is, not only do you have that legal backed expertise, is at the closing table, you've got the attorneys and a cute little present as a token of our appreciation. So what I love about Thompson Law Group is the experience. We're always trying to elevate. We're always trying to differentiate for the community and to be remembered. So,
Wow, what an incredible way to lead your business and to set a standard throughout the community. Ace, I'm going to highlight your website here real quick for those watching. Would you mind talking about the various products and services that you all offer?
hello.
Hey, Ace, you there?
Sorry. Yeah, kind of cut out.
Oh, you're good. I was asking, do you mind walking us through the unique products and services you all offer at Thompson Law Group that help you differentiate yourselves?
Yeah, so we're a one-stop shop. We do residential closings, commercial closings. We're able to provide along the way. We have a litigation team. We have folks that can assist with creating business entities, representation for property management. Again, that legal action division. Again, the closings, the convenience of closings. What I love about Brett is he's a teacher at his craft, so he's happy to provide at Teaching Tuesday your brokerage and or the first time home buyers. And then if you want to just go to the safety seminar again, he does his agent safety courses. So he's an array of services. We're here to protect your biggest asset, protect you, and many more.
Love it. Love it. Ace, thank you for highlighting those unique services. It's one thing to like hear it on TV or the radio. It's another thing to actually like be present with the business. And I think that's where you do a great job, especially when it comes to the digital space of really bridging that connection, because it's so easy to see something online or to see something on a website, but still not connect with the individual behind the brand, right? And that's where it comes to a lot of days, especially nowadays, is the personalization of the business, right? Just being able to be heard and being able to hear and understand your client's needs as well.
Definitely. No, especially, to our community, to agents and lenders and banks and whatever, equity firms, everyone's situation is unique. And we just kind of curate it to how we see fit and, develop these strong partnerships. So,
yeah, absolutely. Speaking of partnerships, Ace, I'm curious for those listening who are looking on the horizon for what to expect from Thompson Law Group in 2024, 2025 calendar year. Now that you've taken the reins, you've beat cancer. I don't know how many times now, but you've done it so fabulously well. And now you're going to networking events and being more outspoken, as we joked around on Facebook the other day. Any upcoming projects or events we can be on the lookout for you in your new position and role?
Yeah, definitely. So again, those agent safety courses, it's coming up here in the second quarter. I have some fun things with our underwriter partners about social media and AI. And so that's going to come up a couple times this year. Be on the lookout. Would love to see you. We're going to do more community-based events. And again, that open house at the end of the year.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, that sounds so exciting. And then Ace, we're leading into our last section here because I know you have a closing coming up. You got deals to get done, and we are so appreciative of your time. As we look at the community as a whole, I mean, community impacts the way we live and the way we conduct our businesses here locally. I'm curious for you, Ace, are there any specific examples or times that you could provide that community has impacted the way in which you conduct and live here throughout the community of Virginia Beach area?
I mean, now I'm part of the Filipino Community Action Group. I think it's bridging the gap and building trust and credibility. My credibility being out there, in real estate and representing an amazing law firm really helps. Also facilitating change and progress. I love to be able to drive growth, whether it be providing value to the agent, lender, or bank, or whatever partnership. I think empowering and inspiring is important. So I'm glad that I've, representing here a law firm, it's just all legit, and I can, provide that resource credibility.
Get stuff done. You can make it happen, and you can excel those voices in our community that are so unique and are what make Virginia Beach such a great place to live, work, and play. Ace, thank you for the conversation today. We have your red carpet challenge. So the red carpet challenge is very simple. If you would like a final message or promotion, all you have to do are answer some fun rapid fire questions. Should you accept, you get the red carpet. How's that sound?
Let's do it.
All righty. I don't have the sound for this yet, but there will be some red carpet sound coming soon. So don't worry, guys. In the meantime, we'll just do a dog barking. I don't know. That sounds good, right?
Fair enough.
Position.
I can't really hear you. Sorry.
All righty, Ace. First question.
All right.
Virginia Beach outdoor activity.
Surf.
Surfing. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Any good surfing spots you recommend for a surfer?
The inlet.
Mm-hmm. Down by First Street, Rudy Inlet right there.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Love it.
Yes.
Next one. The most exciting part of a real estate deal for you.
I like the closing table. I like all this. You see issues arise and what truly happens, say when you're representing a seller, and how what liens and judgments, what happened throughout their life in order to have gotten them here. So when you see these issues, from a psychological standpoint, and like what happened in life, that now we're here today selling your home, therefore you're moving on to your next chapter. I think I love this side of the table.
Wow. Yeah. So very cool. So very cool. Ace, if you could have dinner with any Virginia Beach local, past or present, living or not, who would it be?
Oh, wow. That's a really interesting one. Having not grown up here in the States, I think one of the presidents, I think that's phenomenal, just because alone, like living here in the DC, Maryland, Virginia, the DMVs, it's got so much history. I don't know what I've been to, what was it? It's up in DC, and it's a touristy spot, but it's one of the presidents. I forgot his name, but I would love to sit down and, chat with them.
Love it.
Or Martin Luther King,
Martin Luther King. Oh yeah. That he's a given in any conversation for what we need to see the future of what our world could be, right?
Very inspiring. Like his
Absolutely.
leadership, his messages, very strong and passionate. So that's a huge one.
Love it. Love it. Ace, what's the best piece of advice you've received in your career? What's that golden nugget of wisdom?
Ooh. I don't know if it's necessarily advice from somebody else. It's, I guess, my wisdom is that since with what I've gone through, is to keep pushing. I just kept going, no matter how rough it was, whether it be, relocating and having to adjust to a new place, and motherhood, and, being a military wife, and now transitioning into a work-life balance. I just keep going. You have to keep going. And some days you're going to have bad days and the good, but trust the journey and the process. It's beautiful. It can be rough, but, keep on moving.
Keep on moving. Ace, thank you so much again. You've reached the end, and it is now time to roll out the red carpet for you. Ding, 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 ding. This is your time to share any final messages or last words of encouragement to the audience. The floor is all yours.
Thank you, everybody, for listening and, having heard my journey. I'm only here to inspire and empower. So if you have any questions, I'll let you go.
Holler at Ace. She is going to be, and all of her information will be in the link in the description below. And if you got time, just drive over to Thompson Law Group, dodge past the Ninja Warrior, and say hello to Ace. Ace,
The
thank you
closing
again.